All right, guys, I'm back. I took a bit of a longer break than I was anticipating on taking, but let's continue. So we left off. I was running this. I was testing out the updated ESLint setup in the root of the project directory. This and it was hanging for so long because I had forgotten to ignore these folders. So a lot of these folders tend to have like just a bunch of config and setup files and auto-generated files that shouldn't be linted at all. And so I was trying to figure out what the ignore command was for ESLint because they keep making updates and changing how things work. And it used to be where you'd put another block with the curly braces, and then you do ignores, and then you give it a list of directories to ignore. So you put node modules, code coverage, for tests, for file generated from doing testing. But now they changed it where you use this global ignores function, and then you feed it an array of the patterns that you wanted to ignore. So once I gave it that, I let it run, and it worked. It linted the prettier config, which I have to take a look at why the same module is not defined. Perhaps because it's a CJS file instead of MJS. So it's probably just having trouble with the keyword here, module.exports. So, which I'm okay with. I don't really care about that. If need be in the future, I'll change it to do export default and update the file to an MJS. But for now, we'll keep it as a CJS. It works because I've noticed on my computer, especially, uh, a lot of these config are so finicky to the point that if you mess up, if you change one little detail, the whole thing just falls apart. So I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. I'll close some tabs here because my computer is absolutely screaming for help. Also close this. I'll keep the rule sets open. I think since we have the GitHub open on the other side, we'll close that as well. So we're not gonna need this anymore. That's fine. This is the local dev server. That's fine as well. This is still saving for whatever reason. It's taking 2 billion years. I might have to close the stream here for a second and reopen OBS in administrator mode because, again, it's my entire computer is just screaming for help right now, and I'm not sure why. I think it should stabilize right now. Give me 1 second. I also apologize if you hear any music in the background. Not the jazz that I'm playing, but if you hear any like pop music or anything upbeat like that, somebody just outside my window here, or I can't even tell where it's coming from, but somebody somewhere near me is playing music really, really loud. I have the window closed, but it still comes through into my apartment. So if you end up hearing any music playing, I do apologize, but there's nothing that I can do about that for the moment being. So I'm gonna close that. We don't need this either. We don't need this either. This is the root package.json. And we are also not gonna need this because we have ESLint installed at the root. So we also don't need another lint command in here. So we're gonna leave that open for a second. Check what we need to add. All right, so it said unexpected constant truthiness on the left hand side of an or expression. And this is on line 47. So I'm pretty sure it's talking about this, yeah. So I will just leave this as that, and then do another one that checks for uh, dependent bot. Again, this isn't really an issue. It's just another uh, ESLint thing that's it's eventually might start bothering me. But the fact that it's not even linting it right now is kind of funny. I might have to do a VS Code reload here in a second, so that could uh, give me a sec. Because I could either split this or just leave it as is, but I don't think this really is a problem. I see what I messed up on. I need to close that. Now I think this should work. We could do it again. npx ESLint. And then I also have to test the turbo one to make sure that that one also works because that's the most important one. I feel like. So this shouldn't hang as much. Okay, so there it is. It went through. So okay, so now that we got rid of that error, so we can close that. We can actually get add commitlint.config.mg, and I misspelled commitlint. Um, add ignore for dependabot. Then we'll do the package.json. And what changed in the turbo.json? Was it because I added the these? I think yeah, because I added the second one. I forgot to push that as well. Yeah, all this stuff should have been done hours ago, but I was so weirdly tired. Like I went to bed sort of late last night after I got off the stream, and then because I finished streaming around 1 a.m. Then I stayed up for another half hour, I think, and then I went to sleep. Then I woke up like at 8 a.m. today, so like I'm off kilt. Even the coffee that I was drinking early in the morning wasn't helping at all. In fact, sometimes like that's why I'm not really a big coffee guy because even sometimes I feel like I'm drinking coffee and it makes me even sleepier, which is like insane to think about that something that's supposed to keep you awake is making you sleepier. But that's the kind of guy that I am. All right. Status add ESLint config mjs git commit sure add root. Now that's fine. So now fixing that commitlint, the ESLint issue as well helps us with our pre-commit hook to make sure that that runs as well. Now no, I could not because when I do, yeah. So actually, this is important that we have this because the turbo lint command only goes through the package. It goes through um, the apps and the package UI. So it doesn't. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't lint everything else. It just goes through the two apps and the package UI because those are the only ones that had an ESLint config file. So I think now that we have that sorted, I think we should be good to go. I need to add the turbo.json and we add global. What is it that we added here? The global environment variables. I should not even add. Okay, so I think that's a little bit of a better commit message. Ask me from. There was a yeah. There we go. There's some Jerry Mulligan. Okay, then we'll do package lock. In fact, we just do this get add. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Get add. Get commit m chore package install ESLint. And that's good to go. So we'll push these changes, and then I'm gonna rerun the tests in the pull request um, that Dependabot created, and see if those run. If those succeed, then we can consider merging those pull requests. And then that way, we can then create a new branch that's going to be for the different features that we're going to implement. So I think I'm going to need several uh, long living branches, or because we're going to have the main branch, then we're going to have another one for testing, for beta testing. So that's going to be for the preview. Then we're going to have another one that's going to be uh, okay, hold on. I'm getting myself confused here for a second. Oh, give me a second. Okay, everything is set. So git push. Let me go back to show you what I was talking about. I have to rerun these also now that I made these changes. Okay, so we're going to have the main branch, which is where the whole project is going to live. And Dependabot was really busy. Wow. And then we're going to have another persisting branch that's going to be for like the preview or the staging area. Basically, when we make any changes that we want to push out to the application that people can use, they're going to be going to a preview branch first that other developers can also mess around with and see if this stuff actually does work, and then that'll be merged to the main branch. Or, and another thing that I'm considering is like the so we need branches as well for testing. So we need one for unit tests, another one for end-to-end testing, then another one for the actual white box. Was it white box testing? I forgot what it's called. I think it's white box testing, where you actually load up the application and you start moving stuff around, clicking stuff and typing stuff in, and making sure that visually that you see that everything's actually working instead of just trusting what the computer's telling you actually does work. And then I think in the future we might implement another branch for beta, so users can have like a beta flag as part of the user schema, right? As part of the data type. That way, for certain users, we can activate that flag and give them access to new features that may not be rolled out to the rest of the user base. That's something to consider at the moment. Um, at the moment, I'm not too concerned about that. So let's see if these run and are successful, and if everything goes good, then we know that we're in a good position to uh, take a look at the depend about stuff and see if that stuff is now good to go as well. Hopefully everybody's been having a good day. Been staying out of the heat. I don't know what even what the temperature is. There was another earthquake today. If you live in Jersey, you know. It was like a magnitude two, I think. Today was in the 80s. 84 was the highest today. Um, so hopefully people been keeping warm. It does look a little bit gloomy outside. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna rain, but it's super cloudy. A lot cloudier than normal. Whoa, what is that? Air quality is at 102 for the day. That is it like a fire or something? Why is it so? It looks like it's all coming north from the north. Is there a fire somewhere? Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, so there is a fire in Canada. That's why it looks so cloudy. I didn't even know. Wow, this is why you gotta read the news, kids. Anyways, all our workflows went through successfully, so that's bueno. Then we can go in here and see if these will run. I also need to put up some user stories for the features that we're going to be implementing. Is there a way to rerun these? No, no, these won't rerun. Let me load the Vercel dashboard here to make sure that everything's fine. I think the deployment should have gone through successfully as well, but I don't know why the previews have been failing miserably. I think it should attempt another preview. Yes, so this one went through. This preview went through, which is good for us. All right, cool. So production should also be stable then. Yes, this went through 4 minutes ago. Nice. So everything is good to go. So what we need to do now is take care of these pull requests. So I'm confused as to whether or not these pull requests are for Dependabot itself or if it's because it's saying it bumped TypeScript React from 19.1 to 19.19. Let me see what version of TypeScript React I'm running in the project here. That will tell us a lot because again that stuff is auto installed by did I remove the fonts in here? I didn't, so I gotta delete those as well. But let's just look at the package.json that's in here. At types react 19.1. Okay, so it is bumping this up. Okay, so it bumped up types react from 19.10 to 19.19. Then it also bumped types node and TypeScript and React DOM. And I don't know what this is. Yeah, this bot was really busy. Actions checkout from 3 to 4 in. I don't know what that's about. The second one and the last one, I don't know what those are about. And that's a big jump for the Node.js version. I mean the types node. Check down. Oh, I get this now. So this, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is in relation to these workflows. So if you can see in a couple of these right here, so this why that's why I didn't do one for the build. So this is check bump actions checkout from 34 and GitHub, but it doesn't tell me which file exactly. Let me see. I think it'll tell me here in files changed. So this is for commit lint, right? So if we look at the commit lint workflow here, right here. So actions checkout this. So it's upping the version from version 3, actions checkout version 3 to version 4. Since this one is already in version 4, it skipped it. And the same thing for I think C spell is on version 3. Yep. And same thing for lint. Yep, version 3. So that's what that is. I don't know what this is. Property on is not allowed. Do these other ones have it? Yeah, it does have an on. Ah, I see. Is it because I set it up? This is for C spell. So on push and actually I can even it's not even with strings. Push pull request. I think that should fix it. Nope, still giving me an error. Property on it is not allowed. That makes no sense. Um, why is that? Why is that a problem here, but not a problem in the commit lint? Oh, I see the problem. So, is this how this works? So while the workflow does work, I think the issue here is the fact that the I think this is expecting the config file to be of any file format as a .json or a .yaml. So I think cspell.yaml is being interpreted as a configuration file for cspell and not a workflow, which isn't, that's why it's flagging that every single time I open it, it's getting flagged. So I think if we rename it, right? So if we do .github workflows, then we do copy cspell.yaml to spellcheck.yaml. And if we open them side by side, this spellcheck.yaml shouldn't have any errors. Nope, it does have errors. But now it's all mapping items must start at the same column. So I think it's what? Huh. Why is it doing this? But this is Why is this fine, but the other one isn't? What did I copy here? I just need to copy this. Right, so this is now not a problem. So this I can get rid of, and this I can get rid of? Is that what I'm seeing on this document? I mean, commitment doesn't even specify what branches, right? So we should be okay. This is the thing when you're learning to be better at DevOps. Uh, you run into a lot of problems like this. So I think now this should be fine. So I'll just copy this, replace it in there. It's still gonna give me an issue. I'm gonna delete the spell check .yaml, then rename cspell.yaml to spell check.yaml. And I think we should be kosher. Alright. Okay, so this should all be good. I should also put in the change log. And since we're in here right now, let's just go to apps, docs. Nope, I meant apps, docs, app, fonts. And delete the Geist mono VF and the Geist VF. And we're just gonna make a .keep in here. We already took care of that in here. We need a change log because we're gonna make sure our change log is tracking all of our changes. So in here we changed we'll just add this here. Renamed to spellcheck.yaml to avoid cspell interpreting file as configuration, as local config. And then we right, we add ignore for dependabot in commitlint. With the body max length, body max line length, footer max length, and footer max line length rules. Okay, that's kosher. Then we added a .env. Okay, so those are all the changes that we did as far as I'm aware. We also got a pool here removed. Locally loaded fonts from apps docs and apps web. Actually, no, because we already removed it prior to the first commit. Now we did. I need to check this, make sure that this link is working. All right. So that's that. Oh, we added root ESLint config. Okay. So that's all the changes that we made. Git add apps docs. Man, all this little chores that we gotta do in here are what's like taking forever for us to really get some progress. But it is what it is. I'm not mad at it. Not one bit. Not one bit. Okay. Okay. And last but not least, it'll be the changelog file itself. So we'll push that as well. Then we will go through those pull requests that Dependabot created. They should be safe to merge because they're all just development changes. I mean development dependency changes. So the add types React, add types Node, React DOM. So we will merge them one at a time. Then we will pull them, then do the next merge, then pull, do the next merge, pull, next merge, pull, blah, blah, blah. And then once that's done, I'll then run the projects here locally and make sure that nothing broke. Because, so I think what I will do is merge the actions bump to version 4 for the workflows. I'll merge those first, and then I'll do the other ones. Now, once that goes up, we're going to push. and we should be kosher. We'll go back to the. We did also refactor this. I should have said something, which actually I should be doing that right now. Right, what are we doing here? Right, so first we renamed, and then we refactor. Uh, okay, that's what we changed in here. So I'll have to git add again and then git commit that same message. I have the heater off for like 30 minutes and I am blazing hot in here. Give me a second. I'm going to turn the AC back on. Did I say heater? I meant the AC. I'm going to turn the AC back on and then we're going to continue. Yo, it was a blazing 80 degrees in my apartment. Disgusting work. Okay, so that's done. Ladies and gents, git status. We're gonna git push and go look at our actions here. See that everything's working fine. I also gotta set up some rule sets so we don't do anything. We don't merge stuff that's not supposed to be merged or without satisfying certain conditions. Because even right now, like I could go ahead and merge these dependabot pull requests. So spell check went through fine. Oh, also that's what I forgot to do. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. Spell check in the pre-commit because we need to make sure that we're not running. Excuse me. That we're not committing stuff with errors, and that's where the other file that we saw yesterday that I had extensive configurations for. Assets pre-commit. This. So we were running type check on the staged file. So so here we get the stage files, then we run commit lint, just like what we're doing on the left. Then we go through these stage files and do spell check. And then we do a type check, and then we lint stage prettier. So I think this is what I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change this to this, because I think it's important that we also spell check our commits, because if we do not, then it's gonna become a problem. Commit lint is not. Oh, it's talking about this. So I think, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna update this right now, so I don't remember, I don't forget. Because if we don't spell check, then this is gonna be a problem for us in the future. I feel like. So we need here updated pre-commit hook. Yeah. So we get the stage files. We run commitlint on them. Then we run code spell check on that, and then we do lint stage and then pretty quick, and that should be kosher. Oh boy, this is again. It's just so many little details, when it comes to programming, that it's like, if you forget, if you they become like an issue in the future. Anyways, so we should be good. I've also considered, I don't know if Dependabot does uh, pull request summarization and recommendations, as well as like code review. I think GitHub does have a code review bot, a code quality and review bot. I think I might need to add one, because I'm going to be the only person working on this, and to have like another pair of eyes, so to speak, quote unquote, will be rather useful for us to be able to make sure that we're putting out the best code that we can possibly put out. So for now, we'll leave that as be. I'll research that off camera, because we still got to merge these pull requests, and then we actually no, we can just do that now, right? We'll merge the pull requests, then we'll pull the changes, make sure that everything locally here isn't throwing a fit, and then once that's done, set up, do the main branch protection with a rule set. Then we will do the code quality setup. The Git, because I know GitHub does have a bot. I'm pretty sure GitHub has a code quality bot. One of these. You know what? Let's just Google it, because I don't think I can find it. GitHub code quality. Nope, that's not a topic. What is this? It's just so if I wanted to start an organization. It's not what I wanted. I was looking at this the other day. Like I was. Yeah, you can see here I had to search for the. pretty sure there's a. I think you might be talking about Code Rabbit, but one of the problems that I have with these bots is the fact that a lot of them tend to litter your pull requests with like a lot of just mumbo jumbo. This is just somebody's private code review bot. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll definitely research this. We're not in a hurry to implement that anyways. But it's definitely something to think about adding in the future because it could be good for us as we are, solo developing this project that we have something that can also give us feedback as we develop. I know if anybody's watching this, they want to get to the we want to get to the meat and potatoes, the setting up better auth and stuff like that. We will get there. I just we again at the start of these projects for me usually it's just a hell of a lot of housekeeping, making sure some of these automated workflows are running okay. Um, in fact, before I even touch that, I'm gonna have ChatGPT just help me curate the user stories. Then we're gonna add those user stories um, to the GitHub as an issue, and then we're gonna. Oh, give me a second. All right, I'm back. It was just a little bit of some random noise going on in the background that I had to just make sure nothing was going crazy. Um, but I think everything's okay. So let's finish pushing these changes, and then we will merge those requests. Oh, All right, sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna push these changes. Then we're gonna go to the repo. Just gonna close that for now. Actually, I should. Oh my god. All right. So all the workflows passed. Things you love to see. All right. So let's go to these pull requests. Let's start merging these. So this one's the GitHub Actions one. Also, I didn't give these. I didn't put labels on these. So let me open one at a time. Put some labels on them, and then that way we know this is dependencies. So we need to put the dependencies label on it. And then okay, so that has the badge put. We need to also put a badge on this and a label. Dependencies. All right, okay, all right, okay. I mean, that's not what I realized I was doing at the moment. I thought I was just gonna select two that are missing and then like give them labels from that view, but apparently that's not how that works. Give that a dependencies label, and this is also needs a dependency label. So these should now show. Yo, what else can Dependabot do? You know what? While this is updating, and as we're merging that stuff on that one screen, I'm going to look this up. So for some reason this one didn't apply. All right, so that's also has the label. Okay, so we're gonna do the bump actions for checkout. This one was successful. So should we merge and rebase, or let me squash and merge? Or should we merge commit? I mean, it's only one commit. So let's just do a squash and merge. Okay. It's not what I meant to do. So this is running now. We've already hit 102 workflow runs. That's crazy impressive. And then once that does its thing, I'm gonna git pull, and I think we should be kosher. Whoa, what just happened? Okay. Not sure. It just like opened like three other workflow runs. Okay. So that one went through. We're gonna git pull. Okay. Everything should be up to date. I'm just testing to see. Okay. So that one went through. Then we're gonna do the other. Squash and merge. Confirm squash and merge. Check the actions again. Let that run. All right. So that was successful. If I check the root of the project, These also are in here. So our branch is behind by one pull. So git pull. So we should see that commit lint and lint should be up to version 4. Let's just collapse all these folders. So we need commit lint, version 4, yep. Also version 4, sweet. This is also version 4 already. Build is also version 4. Alright, suave. So those are the, give me a sec. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had to step away to take a phone call. All right, let's continue. So we have so right. So we did get pull, get status, get fetch. Again, just to make sure. Okay, everything's up to date. So we did two of these, right? So we can start with one of these, which means that we need to make sure that this is open, the localhost 3000, because if this breaks, uh, again, why did these fail? Because of the version differences. Oh no, this was because of the commit lint. So yeah, we resolved that. Okay, so that's fine. The lint and format failed because of the version issue. I'm pretty sure. Which again, I don't know why this is a problem because we don't have this requirement anymore. Just gonna quintuple check, but we don't have the engines field in here anymore. Yeah, we don't have it, so this shouldn't be a problem anywhere. Let me just engines. Yeah, the only place it's showing up is in the changelog, in which we're saying that we removed that field. So I'm not sure why this didn't go through. Because of a Does it? How can I check if a pull request has an older version of a specified file? No, it doesn't. No, this is not even the right package.json file. It says in packages UI, then package lock, then maybe this. It does have it. Okay. So this does have the older version of these files. I think that's why it's, yeah, in here we don't have the engines. Yeah. So this is running on an older version of the package lock and package.json and package lock.json. That's why these checks failed. So okay, so we know that we can comfortably merge these pull requests, and it won't give us any more errors. But I would just have to write here because I can't remember whether or not you can rerun um, checks. So we can squash and merge, confirm squash and merge. Wait for these to run, and then we will and then we'll git fetch, git pull, then do the last two pull requests. Then I gotta remember to delete those branches that dependabot created because some of these haven't started yet. Okay, now they're running. I think it's rerunning some of them that failed last night. Because you can see how some of these are out of sync. Some of these are community number 38. Some of them are number 26, number 27, whatever. Number 39. Actually, this is number 26. Yeah, you can see some of these are. Okay, maybe I'm faded. Maybe I'm faded. I think some of the stuff is just out of order. And it's also why we need to move into creating features, because that way we can just keep pushing to the feature and minimize the amount of workflows that are running at a time, to speed up the development process, because some of these workflows don't run on every branch. All right, git fetch, git pull. Okay, and then so that's up to date. Then now we know that we only have to do the last two, the last three. Okay. Again, let me refresh in here, make sure there's no errors, nothing broke. So far, so good. Okay. So far, so good. No errors. Let me check. I'll check the network tab in a second. Let's just continue finishing this. Aha, see? I think you reran some of the previous uh, some of the previous failed deployments. I mean, failed checks. Uh, Reran. But we'll still leave that comment here. So we'll do squash and merge. Confirm squash and merge. Okay, so we gotta check the workflows again. Let them run, and then we should be kosher. Okay, wow, I just kind of zoned out for a sec. So that's successful. Do a quick refresh in here. And everything's Gucci. Do a git fetch and a git pull. That's cool. Now we have these last two. Again, I think if we see that the checks in here also passed, then that means it definitely, yeah, it reran these. Yep, it reran some of them. Not some of them. It reran basically all of them because this was 15 hours ago. Then 1 hour ago, it deployed. When I updated the package that no when I pushed some of those other changes earlier, um, then it reran some of these. I guess he just kind of boosted them up to the top when we were on the workflows page. So we'll leave that comment there. Then we will squash and merge, confirm squash and merge, and then that should be all she wrote. We'll go back to the workflow page, refresh, let these bad boys run. So that's really awesome. I didn't think it would do that, but I guess depend about because I know you can manually rerun them through the workflows page, but I was mistaken thinking that you can also trigger the workflows to rerun themselves in the pull request view. So I'm gonna let these workflows execute. One more step. Okay, so that one's went through. Refresh here, make sure the changes are showing up. Okay, that's cool. That went through as well. Um, then we have this last one. So let's get fetch and get pull. Also gotta make sure that our web app is still didn't explode. Make sure we're not getting any errors here as well. No errors, everything's still kosher. Only thing I don't see is the icon is not rendering. No, the manifest isn't showing up and another file is missing. But whatever. We're not getting any errors, which is fine. And that's not really that big of a problem. It's just like a loading error. Um, so we're good so far. Then we have the last one here. Did this finish? Yes, it did. So just git fetch one more time to make sure that we did it. It added something to the package.json. Where is this at? The root package.json. TypeScript. Oh, right. It was a TypeScript upgrade. My bad. Faded. All right. Git status. Everything's kosher. Go to the pull request. Do the final one. And then gotta go in there and close those branches because we're not gonna need them anymore. Leave our little comment here. And squash and merge. Confirm squash and merge. And that's that. Refresh. Wow. And Dependabot went and closed all our branches automatically. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Yo, you love to see that. You love to see that. So we don't even have to go in here and manually delete anything. That's awesome. So didn't even need to refresh, but we'll let these workflows run. This will be the last PR that we're going to merge. And then we will close the app. Actually, that, and then we'll deploy the Docs app, and also give this the web app will give it the URL variable for the Docs app, and do the same for the Docs app. Give it the URL for the web app, and then that will be good. So we can have both of them up online. Then we can do the user stories. Once we do the user stories, we are going to set up Neon and Postgres, then do the schema designs. I don't know if I'm going to do those on stream. I might do them off stream, and then tomorrow start the stream again. Actually, I might if I do stream tomorrow, and if I do continue working on this tonight, then you will come back and see that I made a little bit of progress. So I will do the user stories probably off stream because we've been live for an hour and a half, which is pretty good. I'll do the user stories, then do the schema design, the database design, and just flesh out a little bit more the stack that we're going to use for some of the stuff. So that way, when we come back tomorrow, if I do stream tomorrow, we'll have that sort of housekeeping work done, and we can start implementing some of the features like the authentication. And actually, what I'm gonna do now, I might git tag this because I think we're at a stable point in the project that we can git tag and have a version. So we'll tag it as version 0.1.0. And then by the time all the other features are complete, we'll be at version 1.0 in the future. Okay, so that's good. That ran. We'll do another git fetch here. Git pull. Now we have all the changes. That's good for us. So all our workflows are done. We can close that. This pull request is done. If we go back to all pull requests, we're good. All right, so now what I want to do is go to Vercel, go to my apps, go to this, and we need to go to settings, and we need to give it that environment variable. We need to give it the next public docs URL, I think is what I called it. If I go to turbo.json, next public docs URL, yep. So let's add this new app. Something's wrong here. Oh. So we know what that URL is, which is this. So we can just give that value, hit deploy. So that deployed successfully. Sweet. Let's continue to the dashboard. Get the project URL. Which is this. We'll copy that. Click save. Redeploy. Redeploy. Deployment was successful. So now if we go here to the Docs app, when we click visit network, it should take us to the other app. Yep, and we click view documentation, it should take us to the documentation app. Whoa, that didn't work. Huh. View documentation. That's interesting. I think it's still redeploying. Should probably give it a second. View deployment. Okay, it's still building. All right. All right, let's go visit it one more time. Refresh, view documentation. There we go. Now it's working. So now everything is linked. So that's what we wanted to take care of, and we got that down and padded. So that's cool. All right, so that's up. Just a little distracted, but that's up and done. So now we're gonna tag and release as version 0.1.0, and I think we should be kosher. I've been saying kosher all day. 0.1.0. What's today's date? 2025 0508. Is that the format? It goes month, date, then month, or was it month, then date? Let's go to keep a change log. It goes, so it goes month, then date. So this would be 0805. Added, changed, removed. And that will be that. Then we need to uncomment this. This should be not releases. It should be Nestwork tree, then version 0.1.0. Okay, so git add. Oh, we also gotta change this, which is gonna be the same thing, but it's whatever, because it's not gonna render any changes. All right. So now we can git tag a. I don't know if this is traditional, but I think I'm just gonna do it this way. All right. So then we can git push and git push origin. So now we should have a version up. All right, cool. So everything is kosher now. So I think that's where I'm gonna stop the stream for today. We'll be back on again tomorrow. I will be doing some stuff off stream, like again the user stories, the database and schema design, making sure I have a clear list of all the tools that we're gonna use to build out the project, not just for authentication, but all the other features as well, to make sure that we will have all of that good to go. Then tomorrow I will reflect that to you guys, show you guys what I came up with and what I'm doing and what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to start the uh, implementing some of the features. So having the user stories defined will be good for us because then we know what each feature kind of gives us a better idea of what each feature needs to be, what the flows are going to be for those features. So I'm going to do the user stories for the authentication system. So sign in, sign up, sign out, route protection, stuff like that, and then we'll implement that. I'm getting ahead of myself. The user stories are going to be this. The first set of user stories are going to be about the account authentication features. So being able to sign up with your email and password, being able to sign up with your Google account, and then being able to sign in with your Google account and also with your email and password, making sure that emails work for when you do sign up so you get notified that you created an account. Then we're going to need another user story for signing out, another user story for resetting the password. Uh, then, once those user stories are done, I'm going to put them up on the repository as under the issues. So that's how we keep track of our user stories with the user stories label. Then, I'm also going to do the database design a little bit. I'm going to do most of it. I'm going to do the database design as well as the schema design for the data types. So we're going to do the data type for the user first. Make sure the user has a name, has an email, has a password that's encrypted, has uh, those fields for timestamps. Also has a profile blob. I think we're going to be using Vercel blob for that. Then I'll also flesh out some of the other dependencies and tools that we're going to need to make this whole thing come together and work as I have in my brain. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing off screen. So thank you so much for tuning in. Earlier we did a 1.5 hour stream. Right now we do another 2 hour stream. If I'm feeling up to it, later tonight I will also do another stream. Maybe stream some Call of Duty. Play a little bit of rank play. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more programming stuff. This VOD will not go up. It will go up on Twitch, but I will not upload it to the Guard YouTube channel. I will upload it to my other educational sort of programming related YouTube account. So that will be up there. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Peace. Oh, well, before I forget, again, you can also, if you're interested in the project, It's available here. You can follow along. If you want to be a contributor, once we get to a certain point, you can go ahead and hit that link and become a contributor. If you see anything that I've set up that's set up incorrectly, or could be set up better, or could be if I'm missing any setups that you guys think I should add, let me know. I think I might also set up the testing suite off camera, because we also need to make sure that we can do both end to end and unit tests for all the stuff that we're going to be implementing. So I might do that off screen as well. If I don't get to it, then I'll do it on screen tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.